And welcome into another episode of the Pain and Panic Podcast. Adam Sheets, Chris Reynolds with you after a wild and wacky Thursday night game that lived up to the hype. One of the biggest games of the regular season, arguably the biggest game of the regular season when you add in stakes and everything that goes into it in the NFC race. And the Seahawks come from behind to race a 16-point fourth quarter deficit to knock off the Los Angeles Rams and claim the 1 seed for now in the NFC and in the NFC West. Chris, a phenomenal game. Everything you would have wanted. Classic overtime, back and forth, a big comeback that starts with special teams from the Seattle Seahawks that helps them steal a win over their division rival.
Yeah, you feel like the Rams were in control for most of that game. We were going to record early because I was like, oh, Rams up by 2 touchdowns? It's going to be hard to stop that. And then guess what? Seahawks, Rashid Shaheed, they traded for him. He shows why he can make big plays, has that punt and return for the touchdown. And 3 2-point conversions that worked, Adam, for the Seahawks. They have one of the best kickers in the league, one of the most consistent.
2.5. 2.5. Let's give half.
Adam, I'm going to
backwards.
Another thing that makes this game memorable, weird calls. That 2-point conversion, that is 2 points. But
also, can we talk? I thought, what happened you can't advance the ball?
On a fumble, right?
Yeah. Isn't that the same thing?
Here's my problem. I wasn't really listening to the audio, just watching it. So then I was like, wait, what happened? Because when I saw it, I didn't think anything of it. Then afterwards, I'm like, why are they reviewing this? And then I had to turn the audio, but then it was too late. Too late.
But they never mentioned it. They never mentioned it. I was confused.
I thought I was crazy.
They started talking like this, the rules analyst, I think Terry McCauley's their rules analyst, and he kept saying, no, this will be a touchdown, and this will be a 2-point conversion. This is going to be a successful. It's recovered in the end zone. And I'm like, can you advance the ball, or does this not qualify because, he picked it up? So, he didn't fall on it? I had no idea.
Maybe it's because the Rams player deflected it into the end zone?
Yeah, maybe that's where the ball landed, so technically the fumble was in the end zone, so it, and it was recovered in the end zone.
I've seen times where a player, on one team, fumbles the ball into the end zone, and the same team jumps on it.
And then they move it back to the wall.
They move it back, but is that because, it was the same team? But in this case, Darnold threw it backwards. The Rams player is the one that hit it forwards. I don't know.
Yeah,
this is something we could look up. I didn't understand.
I was confused. I was expecting them to mention I was expecting Kirk to say, "What about the advancement?" So Terry could come in and say, "Well, it doesn't qualify on this," and I would be like, "Okay, makes sense." But they never got there, so I was really confused.
Yeah. I don't want to go harsh onto this because I feel bad, but the broadcast had some struggles tonight. That was one of them where I'm I needed more of an explanation. Also, some huge touchdowns at the end of the game. Not very energetic calls.
Hey, Kirk was trying. Kirk was trying to get him up.
I also feel like we were saying this last year, but the chemistry between the two is kind of weird. And Kirk, I think, is clearly a college guy that seeing him here, it's they joke it's his third job.
Yeah.
It's a weird Thursday night. Every Thursday night, there's always some wonky stuff. But
back-to-back weeks of wonky stuff. Last week we had Kirk Cousins comeback.
Yeah. But, the second time, too, where we record... Well, last time we actually did record early. We gave up too soon. Man. But I'll also say, every season, there's always an NFC West game. 2 great teams that come down to the end and has this crazy game just like that. We had that this year. I'm surprised the Seahawks won. I actually won because I picked the Seahawks this week, Adam.
Yes, you did.
You picked the Rams. I thought the Rams were going to be favored. I didn't realize the Seahawks were, so...
Well, I thought the Rams were 1-point favorites.
So, earlier in the week, I know on FanDuel, the Rams were
oh, here comes Chris's gambling.
Nope. I did not bet. I have not bet in a long time. So the Rams were 4, I think the Rams were 3.5 or something. Then it changed to Rams by 1.5. And then right before the game, Adam, when you asked me, I checked and it was Seahawks by 1.5.
Devontae Adams moves the needle.
Yeah, moved it a lot. I think we didn't see that a little bit where the Rams just struggling to score. Devontae's kind of their big important play guy. Third downs and touchdowns. That usually goes to him. Puka looked great. I think the Rams looked really good. I think this was... I was debating the red flag in that video I made. Go check that out. NFC red flags for the Rams. For me, I said in the video, Devontae's old, Stafford is old, and Puka's always in the blue tent. So, they're an injury away from losing a key piece, and Devontae did get hurt. But the other red flag is sometimes they just get into shootouts. And the offense is good, but the defense just has games where it just does not show up. And I think the defense showed up for a lot of this game.
Yeah.
It forced some key points, but at the end, you're like, well, 39 points it allowed, and I don't know. I don't think it's the defense's fault as much as...
Well, you missed their biggest red flag.
What is that?
Special teams.
Yeah, I think it's more special teams, but would you consider defense and special teams the same thing?
Well, no, because I'm not going to blame defense for a missed field goal today that would have won the game and 2 blocked field goals against Philadelphia that lost them the game. When they were up 26-7 in that game, it's a similar game. Special teams flipped the game on its head, and it happened again today. It wasn't even just the missed field goal. It was the punt return for a touchdown after going 3 and out. Like, there's just the special teams.
I also will say, Adam,
right.
3 2-point conversions.
Yeah.
The Seahawks needed all 3. They couldn't stop 1. That was kind of crazy because those are usually hard to convert.
Half a point on the backwards.
But if it was actually a half a 2-point conversion, because that's only worth 1 point, Adam.
I know, but let's not blame the defense because they did technically think they stopped it. They thought it was an incomplete pass. So
I think everyone and their mother thought it was an incomplete pass.
Yeah.
That was weird, but
Zach Charbonnet thought it was an incomplete pass, and he's the one
he
who picked it up.
and was like, "Where's the ref? I need to give this ball to him." And it's funny because
now he looks like a
definitely
genius.
is starting him in fantasy and got like an easy 2 points right there for a 2-point conversion.
He looks like a genius now because he picked the ball up in the end zone. But
it's funny.
Yeah, but no,
fantasy football, Adam, big week here.
Yeah, it's a huge week for a lot of people. Some people still in their semifinals because some people do the
are probably
weird.
in their semifinal. Most standard format is that last week, week 15 was round 1. This is round 2, and the winners here go into the championship next week. So, big week, and honestly, the whole Rams and Seahawks kind of went off. Jackson Smith and Jigba was kind of the most quiet guy, and then
he ended up with 23 points.
He with 23, got that touchdown at the end, saved his day. Puka went off, Stafford went off. Darnold had some. Adam, I was ready to make a Darnold seeing ghost thumbnail again.
He was playing horrible. At one point, he had 0 touchdowns and 6 interceptions against the Rams, and then he got 2 late touchdowns.
Yeah, and then you know what? They came at the right time.
Yep.
He improved when he needed to. And when there's pressure on him, he's not good.
No.
But they gave him time at the end of the game. He waits for something to develop. 4th string tight end, right to him.
Yeah.
Game.
And this is going to be big because, you got to think now. I would obviously pick either of these teams to go beat the NFC South representative, but you do have to add in the traveling across country, making that trip to go out there to play the game. It's going to be a challenge logistically and getting the guys up to play that game, especially thinking both these teams are going to be playing into Week 18 trying to get the 1 seed. So the loser out's going to have to make that trip, and Seattle right now is positioning themselves where they could get the bye, which remember hurt Sam Darnold's team last year with the Vikings. They didn't get the bye, had to play in that first round, and the Rams smacked them in Arizona. So
yeah, and also to this opens the door if the Niners can just win out or get hot. No, they've, not like this game. They were in the game, but the Niners now have a chance because they needed the Rams to lose, and this kind of helps them.
3-way tie. Yeah, they needed the 3-way tie if they can get it, and they play the Seahawks, so they'll be able to get a loss off them. The weird thing with Seattle is they are a game up on the Rams, but they still have to win out. If they lose either of their next 2 games. Even if they lose to the Panthers, beat the Niners, the Rams would have the tiebreaker.
Yeah, because the Rams won the first one, then it goes to division matchups, and then it goes to common opponents.
Yeah, so I think I did the whole ESPN playoff predictor
thing.
Adam,
I can't find that right now. I'm looking for it.
I had to go back in our messages to get it. I couldn't find it on ESPN's website.
Why did they get rid of that?
I don't know. Maybe it's because it's late in the year and they don't want you to know because the NFL is going to try to tweak the numbers around behind the scenes.
You know what it is? Once the Chiefs were out, they're like, all right, we don't need to try to convince people they could get in anymore. It's fine. No one cares.
No one cares. It's just like the Jags. No one cares.
Sorry.
All right, so that's the NFC West race, which still is interesting. The Niners heavily alive. They went out. They're the 1 seed. How about that? Who would have thought that they would be the 1 seed at the end of all this? But they could be if they went out. So good for San Francisco. Seattle's, of course, in a good spot. The Rams still not out of it, an emotional loss. But if they win out, Seahawks stumble up once, they'll end up taking over there. Unless they stumble up to the Niners and the Niners win out. So should be fun to watch in the NFC West. NFC South, let's talk about it, Chris. Let's talk about it because they play this week. The Bucs and the Panthers. They both sit at 7-7. They get to play each other twice. And sadly for the Panthers, they need these 2 games more than the Bucs do.
Adam, I finally bought into the Panthers. All year I've been preaching about the Meow Mix podcast. I have just shrugged it off, made fun of you for it. Like, no, not buying in, not buying in. I finally saw enough of the Bucks. I felt validated so much on Thursday because they blew that game with the Falcons, and I was like, wow, I called this Panthers going to win the division thing. And then they lose to the Saints. What is going on in New Orleans? The Saints are ruining their draft pick. I don't know. I think either Joe said it or you said. I know you said it in the latest video. I watched the video, by the way, and you kept pointing things out, but then I kept forgetting to text you about it. But you're like, I know Chris is going crazy because Tyler Shuck is gonna make the Saints not draft a quarterback, and then they're gonna end up with
4-13 next year.
Yeah, we're gonna end up with the worst pick, and we're not gonna draft a quarterback, and we're gonna wait another year. And guess what? That's what's gonna happen, Adam. I'm not joking. I think that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I honestly would feel bad if Tyler Shuck loses his job because he's played good enough. However, I don't want Tyler Shuck as my franchise QB.
No one wants Tyler Shuck. Tyler Shuck doesn't even want Tyler Shuck. Tyler Shuck's plan is to be a career backup. And he's actually off a great start of that. Showed promise to where he could step in and do things. So he's like, hey, this is my resume.
He has 2 wins that are like wow wins. Like, wow, you beat the Bucks in a must-win for the Bucks and a definite must-win for the Panthers. Beat them both.
Yep. And he's got an easy stretch to finish the year here from like normal standards. Now they're the Saints, so it's not going to be a win. But he could put up decent numbers, look good.
Jets, Titans, and then week 18
is Falcons. Yeah, Jets, Titans, Falcons. He can put up numbers, man.
Listen, another thing. All right, I said this in the red flags with Trevor Lawrence. I'm like, was saying he's had a very easy schedule when he's teaming against the good teams. I'm not saying he's been bad against good teams. I am saying
he's put up big numbers against bad. Yeah,
I'm saying after these last 3 games, people are like, it has finally happened. Trevor's here. He was playing Brady Cook, Cam Ward, and like a quarter of Daniel Jones than Riley Leonard.
He plays against the defense, not the other quarterback.
No, I know, but like, okay, fine. He was playing the Jets after they sold their defense of all their good players. The Titans don't have a good defense. And the Colts, who at the time the defense was really banged up, and their offense died that game.
They lost. That defense didn't give up a touchdown to the team that scored 38 points today.
But they got DeForest Buckner back. I'm buying in. And I think the Rivers, they had a very different game plan. They knew they had a plan coming in. Yeah. Whereas against the Jags, they were like, oh, we just can't outscore everyone. So I think the Jags, Adam, are good. But like, I'm not going to say after these 3 games, like, if you want to say Trevor's been great this year, I am with you. If you want to say these 3 games mean anything, I'm not. Because I'm like, if I had to pick like 2 of the 3 worst teams in the league, these are 2 of them. Titans, Jets.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So like, I'm not going to pretend like this changes everything.
Here's where we get, I guess we'll just skip to the AFC South here too, because we can talk about the Jags, Texans, and Colts. But what I'll say about Trevor, and my biggest compliment for him, is look at what Trevor Lawrence is doing this year. And compared to what Baker Mayfield's doing this year, compared to what Baker did last year, there's a common denominator here, Chris.
Can I guess?
Liam Cohen.
Then can I guess?
No, you didn't need it. Everyone knew what we were talking about.
I know.
The only common denominator between the Bucks and the Jags, Liam Cohen. So he's done a great job developing him. He continues to get better. We'll see what Trevor's made of. I don't expect him to put up 330 yards and 5 touchdowns against the Broncos, but like if he plays
6
well,
touchdowns he had last week. Yeah.
Well, he had a rushing touchdown, 5 passing, 1 rushing.
I count that as 6.
I know. 50.
Some fantasy leagues are worth the same.
Hey, yeah, true. First player in NFL history with 300 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, 50 rushing yards, and a touchdown. So.
Okay, but like, is that any different than Josh Allen having 3 rushing and 3 passing? Like, can we just call touchdowns?
Yeah, just 6 quarterbacks with 6 touchdowns in the last 20 years. There's probably not a bunch of them. Like Josh has it, Trevor has it, Peyton had it in that one game.
Drew
where he
Brees
went absolutely off. Drew Brees has it.
He had it against Eli Manning that one game.
Did Stafford get it last year in that game where him and Josh went back and forth? Did he throw for 6?
I don't think so.
All right, yeah, but like there's guys who've had it, so like that, but it still would be a rare air for like Trevor Lawrence to be in that group would be impressive in its own right. So, but we'll see what Trevor can do against the Broncos this week. It'll be a good test for him.
It's a good matchup.
I haven't hyped him up. You haven't seen me hype him up.
Well, it's funny. A few weeks ago, 5 or 6 weeks ago, you were saying I should like say Trevor Lawrence is being bad to like help him because there was a stretch where I'd criticized him play great because he wasn't playing good. Adam,
he was not. He's turned the ball over.
Yeah, so like I don't know. We're at the part of the season where, like, people are overreacting to 2 games more now than they were in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
When, like, everything was new. People were like, can't get over your head over heels over these guys. And then now it's like, wow, Trevor had 6 touchdowns against the Jets.
I do like to point out, he did grossly outplay Justin Herbert in a game. Like, we do have to acknowledge that.
As you know, I learned to cut out the Justin Herbert segment from our episode because it was 20 minutes long about me hating him after that interview debacle.
I found something out that really scared me. Because, again, we're talking about the divisions here and the races. There is a world where the Jags finish the year 11-6, which would be finishing 1-2, but getting to 11 wins and miss the playoffs.
It'd be if the Colts beat them.
The Colts would have to win out. The Colts and Texans both win out. If the Colts, Texans, and Jags all finish 11-6, the Jags would miss the playoffs with 11 wins, which would just be wild. The Jags getting to 11 wins is crazy. It's not going to happen. The Colts.
I don't think you have to worry about the Colts, Adam.
No, they're probably going to lose this week to the Niners. So
I think the Colts could win 1 game. I don't think they could win 2.
I think they're going to beat the Jags.
They might, but the Jags will still get in.
Win. Yeah,
I will also say, Adam, one person commented on the Phillip Rivers short, and they were like, huh, LOL, you think Phillip Rivers is just going to do dump-offs? You'll see.
He threw some moon balls that went like 20 yards.
Yeah, I was like, I think that was the most fair analysis of everything we've ever done.
Phillip Rivers 5 years ago would have threw it deep. Phillip Rivers' arm don't work like that no more, guys. He's 44 years old. What he did was impressive. He didn't make mistakes. He played like he was competent. He wasn't good, but he was
It's
competent.
Also not really about his age, but the fact that he is older but hasn't played in 5 years.
Exactly. It was impressive.
Tom Brady was playing at 45, but like he
never stopped playing
each year. Like, Phillip Rivers got called in off a high school coach. Like, there was a completely different measure.
He was on the Hall of Fame ballot this year, and now he's off it.
For another 5 years.
Can you imagine everyone's like, man, I was going to vote for him, but, he came back in that game against Seattle. It just changed my opinion on him.
Listen, he almost beat them. Credit to him.
Oh, I know. But there's going to be some voter like, man, I watched those last 4 games when he came back, and it's just... it changed my opinion on him. It changed things.
This is what I say with any super old player or like LeBron in basketball. Like, nothing they do now can hurt like my view of them because this is all just extra.
Like, yeah. But there's some voter out there that's gonna be like, was he really that good? Remember they ended that ending stint in Indy? It's like, 4 games.
Yeah, it's like LeBron wasn't as consistent in year 23.
It's like Colton Jordan's Wizards years. Like, you can't do that. Like, so,
we'll see. I do like the Texans are going to kill the Raiders this week. I'm very scared.
Keep it close. Keep it close, Gino. Or Kenny, or whoever's
I will say, Adam, I think there's a world where the Texans are overconfident this week, and they just, like, put up a dud offensively, and it gets ugly. Like, the spread, I think, is like 14.5, and I'm like...
I think their floor is that Titans game early this year, when they didn't do much, but they won 26-0. Because their defense just won't allow stuff.
No, I know, but, like, the Texans' offense, I know the Raiders have terrible defense, but, like, I don't know.
I think it could be like 17-3.
I could see like 10-3, but like I think the spread is acting as if the Texans have a great offense when they don't.
Well, your thoughts? Maybe the Raiders are going to gift them a couple.
I'm playing against the Texans defense in fantasy. I'm sorry.
So you're trying to talk yourself into this.
Well, I had the Texans defense, and I got rid of them early in the year because they had to buy, and I needed it, and then that was a stupid decision.
Yeah. All right, so it's Jags-Texans. Colts could make it interesting if they win out. Probably not going to happen.
They're not.
All right, we'll jump back to the NFC quick because the NFC North is very interesting right now with the Packers losing, having all their injury problems. The Bears sit atop of it. Bears-Packers this week. Lions sleeping around at 8-6, and they're not out of it, not just to make the playoffs, but to win the division, Chris. They're not out of it.
No, and I think the Packers losing Micah, I mean, it might be too late because the Packers, are ahead of the standings, but if you look at the best team in that division, I would honestly take the Lions over the Bears. And then without Micah, that Packers defense goes from a great defense to a good defense. Mm-hmm. But I said this on the video. He was like their heart and soul. He's the engine of that defense.
Yeah.
He gets all the pressure. He draws the doubles. He can move all around that defense. He makes that defense special. And even when the offense might struggle, the defense was great. Now you need a better Packers offense. Josh Jacobs, every week, seems like his knee might fall apart, and Christian Watson just went to the hospital with a rib injury. That's not good. Just saying that, that's worrisome. They have a lot of injuries right now. And the Bears are playing every single game to finish the season in 5-degree weather.
Yes.
In these gritty games where anything weird could happen.
I wanted to come on here and I wanted to believe in the Bears. And I still do. I do believe in the Bears. But my one problem with the Bears, they're talking about moving the team to Indiana. That's bad vibes. I don't like the vibes. I don't like
the Bears vibes. Are talking about moving the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, haven't you heard they're building a new stadium, and now Kevin Warren, who's near the in the top of the Bears ownership group right now, their chief officer, I forget his technical title, but yeah, he said about their opening up where they might move the team, and Northwest Indiana is a possibility.
If you leave the Chicago market to add a second team to Indiana.
Yeah. Well, I think they'd technically still be the Chicago Bears, because the South Bend, where Notre Dame is.
I don't care.
It's close. It'd be like East Rutherford being called the New York Giants.
I'm firmly against teams being named a place when their stadium is not in that place, especially when it's a state.
So they should be called the New Jersey Jets?
I think the stadium should be New York.
Well, otherwise, they couldn't build a football stadium in New York City. It's a little complicated.
It doesn't have to be in the city. It just has to be in the state.
That's Buffalo. Buffalo's got that title.
Okay. Paulding has a lot of open land.
Chris, they're not going that high. It's a little north for them.
We'll see. Adam, I see we did not have the NFC East on this list. Is it because that race is over?
I'm done with them. I'm done believing in them. I'm done. The Cowboys, look, Chris, you said this man was the worst quarterback you have ever seen. You lose to him, we don't talk about you. That's my rule. If you lose to him, we're not going to talk about you. You lose. I love J.J. McCarthy, but if Chris's rules, if we lose to him, we're not going to talk about him. So,
J.J. McCarthy did have one of his best games
at AT&T Stadium. The Cowboys don't lose in AT&T Stadium.
Of all the games that I was surprised by. And also, it wasn't like Jefferson figured things out with No, it was Justin Jefferson getting 1 or 2 catches for 12 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And just J.J. McCarthy just
dealing. He hit the gritty.
They were talking this year. It looks like Kevin O'Connell doesn't really like J.J. McCarthy anymore. He was upset about the gritty. He was like, I wish he just looked as fast as he did in his 40-yard dash time. He said that, and then he was like, yeah, his mechanics aren't right. They were trying to fix his mechanics for weeks. And then he said, we're just going to let him play. Because when we're trying to fix his mechanics, he can't function as a quarterback.
Yeah. It's hard to do in the season for a lot of players. Try to fix mechanics in the middle of the year.
True.
Just let the kids play.
I don't think Kevin O'Connell actually likes him anymore.
Well, plus they had already been eliminated because the Bears won. So they were already out.
I'd argue that try to fix your mechanics, because if he's bad anyways, helps your draft pick. But
but that's what they thought. Just play. We'll see what happens. And they won.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. The Cowboys deserve just to be banished after that.
They could win out. But they also need the Eagles to lose out. The Eagles played the Commanders twice. I don't think they're going to lose out.
Yeah, I think we would skip the rest of the NFC East there.
Yes.
AFC. We're going to talk about the South. Let's go to the North, Adam.
I like the North race. The Bengals are done. Thank goodness.
Yeah, they're officially eliminated. They're just that team that offense I will always just be afraid of, but it never worked.
The Ravens weren't afraid of it last week.
Lamar had that one great pass, but he missed practice this week. Now he's back today, but Lamar's just had a terrible season, kind of all around, off the field, on the field, just
banged up.
Vibes are not immaculate. As they say.
They were off at the beginning of the year when they were losing games, but he was actually playing well. He was all frustrated.
Yeah,
it was weird. But the Bengals get shut out 24-0, gives the Ravens life. The Steelers sit there, got a big win over Miami to get to 8-6. So they're still a game up on the Ravens. These teams do play each other, but the Steelers, talk about a loaded stretch to finish the year. They get the Lions this week in Detroit. Then they get Cleveland next week. A reprieve. You get the Browns, but Shadur's playing. It's a different animal. Bounce back spot after a tough week in Chicago. And then, of course, they have to finish with the Ravens. Ravens have a gauntlet. They got the Patriots this week, Packers next week, and then the Steelers to finish it out. So the real question is, the Steelers, if the Ravens don't upset the Patriots or Packers, the Steelers, all they have to do is win one game. Can they do it?
I don't know. It'd be the Browns game.
It is the Browns game they're looking at. But the question is, if you're Mike Tomlin, you can't do this. But do you just throw in the towel against the Lions and say, you're not going to, but just we're all in on the Browns game?
I'm not joking. That would be a good idea.
The problem is if the Ravens would beat the Patriots and then upset the Packers, then you'd have you're tied and you threw one game away, so that would be a problem.
But I don't think, even if they're trying, I don't think you're going to beat the Lions.
You never know.
The
Lions have lost some weird games.
But the Lions need to win now.
They do need to win.
I believe it's in Detroit, right?
It is in Detroit.
That's
Aaron Rodgers against the Lions doesn't entice you?
No. Give Rodgers another bye week. Let him rest up. And then Lions at home in a must-win game. I think
you have to play, but you could also, game gets out of hand in the third quarter, be like, all right, we're good. Let's just move on.
I'm predicting a Jahmyr Gibbs 3 touchdown.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be ugly. I think the Lions smack them. But you have to at least put the team out there and see what happens. And then when it gets out of hand, let's go, boys.
I don't know if TJ Watt is playing this week. I know he had
probably not.
Yeah, that collapsed lung. If he's not, that defense just goes from this fear factor to not. And Gibbs kind of just fluctuates between the greatest running back in the league to fun running back who could catch a lot of passes, but is kind of touchdown dependent like that, or sometimes he is the greatest running back I've seen when he's right. And if the Steelers don't have TJ Watt, my gosh, I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to go nuclear.
If they had prime JJ Watt, they'd be unbeatable. He's an animal.
JJ, oh my gosh, I cannot speak. I woke up at 3:30 a.m. It's been a long day. But JJ Watt said he would have signed with the Packers when he signed with the Cardinals. He said he wanted to sign with the Packers for $5 million.
He's a Wisconsin guy.
Yeah, they said no, so he went to the Cardinals for $22 million.
Take that money, baby.
Yeah, but he said he wanted to go to Green Bay for $5 million. They said no.
And they did what all Texans players do. They go to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Man, that's what D-Hop did.
All right. I think the Steelers are probably going to make it. It'll be funny if they make the playoffs with the losing record so the streak breaks.
I don't think that's going to happen.
How many wins do the Ravens have right now?
7. So if the Steelers lose out and the Ravens beat them, I don't know who would have the tiebreaker.
So what happens if the Steelers and the Ravens lose every game, but the Steelers beat the Ravens?
I got this up for a reason. Let me check. All right. So I have the Steelers losing to the Lions already. I have the Ravens losing also, so there we go. That's good. The Steelers need to lose to the Browns, so that's a check. The Ravens need to lose to the Packers. That's a check. And then the Ravens beat the Steelers. The Ravens would win the tiebreaker. So the Steelers cannot make it losing out.
Dang it. Maybe they could just tie a bunch.
Yeah. Tough. The loss would be the Cleveland loss would kill them because that would go to the division record.
Yeah.
So that's the one that would eat them. But I think the Steelers probably beat Cleveland and end up getting in at 9-8. That'd be my guess.
Well, right now, with how the Ravens look, even if the Ravens make it, I don't think any team's afraid of them anymore.
Well, the problem is the Steelers would have to play either the Bills or the Patriots, and that's where we'll go next. The AFC East got wild and wacky after a phenomenal game in Foxborough as the Patriots blew a 21-point lead last week. Patriots looking to bounce back. We just talked about the Ravens. That's where they'll be on Sunday night. The Bills looking to finish out the year strong, only a game back of the Pats, and still have a chance. You have an outside chance at the 1 seed as well as winning the division and would get them the 2 seed in the playoffs.
Yes. Good point. Here's what's kind of confusing to me. I can't get over this. I just don't know if the Bills' defense is actually good or not.
They're not.
But then if you are losing by 21, the other team has 2 running backs that they use, and all they need to do is run out the clock. And the Bills notoriously have a bad run defense. So I just don't know how the Patriots lost that game.
The Bills defense did a good job helping them get back into it, and then they immediately took the lead, and then they allowed Travion Henderson to go 65 yards for a touchdown.
No, I thought that's what got them to 21. No.
No, the Bills took the lead 28-24, and then the Patriots immediately scored a touchdown on like the first play after that.
Maybe they just knew the run was coming, and maybe I don't know. That game kind of made me like. The Bills' defense has moments where it looks good. If the Bills' defense is right, I think they're my Super Bowl pick. But then half the time it looks terrible. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, they're a weird team. They're a weird team. Patriots, I think the big thing with them is just inexperience. They haven't been in these spots. They don't know what they're like. If they would have won that game, they would have clinched the division. And they just, kind of,
I think Vrabel, because he's like a player coach, like former player, and he has a lot of experience in those moments, that helps. But that was my red flag. Is like it's a second-year QB, first year with this coach, a lot of new going on there. I don't think they have a good offensive line. Will Campbell got hurt a few weeks ago against I forget who it was, but it's a rough stretch for the Patriots where they're playing all these easy teams. We don't know if they're actually that good or not, and then they're having these really big moments now after like playing the Browns all year.
Yeah, they've been the one that's benefited more than anybody from the schedule. Their schedule has been easy, so yeah, it's heating it up for them. But who do you like there, Chris? You think the Pats get chased down, or do you think the Pats hold on and give you the finishing stretch here for the Patriots? As we mentioned, they start this week as they take on the Ravens, and then in Week 17 they will be taking on the Jets. Should be a win. And then they're taking on the Dolphins to finish out the year, and a great quarterback in Quinn Ewers playing quarterback there.
Even if the Patriots, like, I could see them maybe losing one. I can't see them losing two.
Yeah. Bills have a lot tougher. So the Bills get the Browns this
which
week.
Should be fun, but then home
Eagles.
but at versus the Eagles, and then they have
Jets.
And then you said the Patriots have the tiebreaker.
Yes, I think
because they're going to beat the Jets and the Dolphins. So
yeah, so let me just flip that. Actually, no. If the Patriots would lose to the Dolphins, the Bills would get the tie.
I think if the Patriots were to lose to a team, it would be...
Yeah, if they lose to Baltimore, they'd have the tiebreaker, but if they lose one of the division games,
However,
they do not.
Adam, Week 18, New England going against Miami.
And Quinn Ewers.
Miami has ruined New England's season before in Week 18.
Yes, they have. Quinn
Do you
Ewers.
remember that miracle play?
Mm-hmm. Quinn Ewers.
And Brady's time as a Patriot.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers.
Where did you go? Was that Georgia?
Quinn Ewers, Texas.
Texas, I knew that.
Yeah, he actually started at Ohio State. Took 2 kneel downs for him in a 56-0 win over Michigan State, and then he transferred to Texas.
College.
Good for Quinn Ewers. All right, now, like we're kind of talking about, so we'll continue it here. The 1 seed. Is it the Broncos or the field, Chris? You think the Broncos hold on to the 1 seed here? They have a good chance to go 15-2. Got the Jags this week. They're honestly probably their toughest matchup left. They do get the Chargers at the end of the year. They get the Chiefs next week on Christmas, and then they get the Chargers to finish the year. But if the Broncos would win the next 2, and they would have clinched up the 1 seed, and they probably don't play anybody against the Chargers, and that game's a moot point. So do you think they get it? It really comes down to, do you think they're going to win these next 2 games starting against Jacksonville this week?
I think you're going to get 2 wins. Jacksonville is probably their hardest matchup.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before, but the Jags have a great run defense. They allow the fewest rushing yards per game. That does scare me a little bit. I think, Sean Payton likes to not necessarily hand it off, but do these little dump-offs a lot. So does Bo Nix. So we'll see how the Jaguars defense does. But they could stop that. This Broncos offense dies. However, they still have a really good defense. So that, the Broncos could stay in any game alone with their defense. Mm-hmm. Their offense at times looks great, other times it doesn't. But I still think they'll easily get 2 of these wins, and they'll get the 1 seed.
It's going to be a 1-score game. That's just how they play.
Yeah. It's in Denver.
Yes. And then they go to Arrowhead.
Well, I'm not afraid about Kansas City on Christmas.
I don't know. Gardner Minshew on Christmas?
I would, especially if the Chiefs beat the Titans, I don't know. If they lose to the Titans, maybe they rebound.
For the Chiefs' sake, lose them all.
It is Christmas, so I know that it has extra juice for everyone involved, but I just can't.
I'm just talking crazy upset. Yeah, you never know.
Not getting there.
It could happen.
I respect it.
I'd take the Broncos. I think that's more likely than the field. I think the Patriots are probably the best equipped, but the Broncos would have the tiebreaker over the Patriots. So that kind of makes things a little tougher. All right, here's our endpoint, Chris. College football playoff is finally here. We've arrived. It's a big opportunity for all these teams. We did a video a couple weeks ago about should this have been the field, shouldn't have been the field. We gave our preliminary picks, but now we start tonight. Starts at Alabama and Oklahoma. Let's get the first round action going and then take us through. So, Chris, we're making it easy this week. We're just going to go game by game. We'll pick them all. All right, we're going to pick them all. All right, so we'll start in the first round. The number 9 team in the country, the Alabama Crimson Tide, travel to Norman to take on the Oklahoma Sooners. Oklahoma did defeat Alabama in Tuscaloosa earlier this year. Brent Venables, head coach at Oklahoma, 2-0 against Kalen DeBoer and the Crimson Tide since joining the SEC. Chris, who do you got, Bama or OU?
Give me Oklahoma.
Really? Any insight on that?
Nope.
All right, we're taking the Sooners at home. Home team has never lost a game since they went to home sites. They were undefeated last year. Chris, riding with them here.
I do think that actually is going to be a huge thing that, I kind of keep forgetting with these games is they're not neutral site.
Yep. Friday night game could be very interesting. College game day will be there for the Friday night game and the Saturday noon game between Texas A&M and Miami. I'm going to roll with the Tide here. I think Alabama gets the job done over Oklahoma. Why? I do not know. This is going to be a low-scoring, ugly game. Both offenses have really struggled to finish out the year, and I think Alabama slight edge offensively. I think they have more offensive upside. John Mateer, ever since he got injured, has not been the same quarterback as he was before the season. So I'm going to ride with the Tide here to knock off Oklahoma. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring defensive battle. Don't really trust either of these teams, but someone has to win. All right, now we go, Chris. Big one. Probably the most anticipated game because these two teams haven't played yet this year. Miami and Texas A&M. These are the two teams that beat Notre Dame this year that kind of helped leave Notre Dame out. So, Chris, the game in College Station. Johnny Manziel is going to be there as Texas A&M battles Miami. Who do you like?
Give me Miami.
All right, you're taking the Hurricanes to knock off the
Aggies.
I
like, Ed Reed, great safety.
Yeah.
Really excited for that defense.
That the only one you want to talk about from Miami?
Cam Ward, great quarterback.
Yeah. Ray Lewis,
Dwayne The Rock Johnson,
Michael Irvin.
Great squad down there. In a real sense, if you're new to the channel, I do not know college like Adam, so I am more of a talking point for Adam to pretend like I can bounce it is. I am making picks though. I am picking Miami.
Yeah, I figure I was gonna let you pick. Shout out Sean Taylor. Do want to get that out there. Sean Taylor, great player. We're named great Miami players. He's one of the best.
Sada flew to Miami today, and so for that reason,
taking the Canes. Yes. Carson Beck had a good year, bounce back year after being in Georgia. I'll ride with the Aggies here. I think Texas A&M gets the job done. I like Mike Elko. I think that's where I'll give the edge. I take Mike Elko over Mario Cristobal. All right, Chris. Tulane travels to Ole Miss to take on the Rebels without Lane Kiffin. Chris, you taking the green wave here, but big green wave guy. Would love to see you take the green wave. What are you going with?
Sure. My stepsister went to Tulane. We will go with Tulane. My friend currently goes there. Shout out Logan as well.
All right, Chris taking the green wave. I'll ride with Ole Miss. I'll take Ole Miss. You shout out your friend. I'll shout out my friend. Emma Holtz attends Ole Miss, so good friend
also
of mine.
Friend, but yes.
So I'll ride with Ole Miss. This one's tough for me, Chris. James Madison travels to Eugene to take on the Ducks. Now, I love James Madison's head coach, Bob Chesney, who's on his way to UCLA. I love the Dukes, big Dukes guy. But they're taking on the Ducks of Oregon. Chris, who do you got?
I have the Ducks of Oregon.
Yeah, me too. I'm taking Oregon. I want to take James Madison so bad. I just
Back when I used to watch college football when Penn State was in it, Oregon beat Penn State, and they looked good.
Yes, they did. They've beaten Penn State twice in the last 2 years. Real tough. Yeah, real tough. But I'll take the Ducks. All right, that takes us to the quarterfinals, Chris. In the Rose Bowl, I have Indiana versus Alabama. You have Indiana versus Oklahoma. Who do you think wins? Is the Hoosiers never won a playoff game. They lost last year to Notre Dame.
I have. What team was this? Oh, I have Indiana.
Yeah, you have Indiana. I have Indiana as well. I don't like either of these teams moving on between Bama and Oklahoma. Don't trust their offenses. So I trust Indiana a little bit more, especially with that rest and Kurt Cignetti. And Heisman Trophy winner Fernando Mendoza get the job done. Chris, have you heard the Heisman Trophy talk between Diego Pavia?
Diego Pavia wants to play with Max Crosby.
He does.
And I know Mendoza speaks Spanish to his grandparents.
Yes, he does. But Diego Pavia said, you don't let me swear on the show, but he said, F them voters for him finishing. He said all of them.
Not very quarterback-like.
Yeah, he finished second. There's a lot of people that voted him first, but he said F them all. So Diego Pavia did not take losing the Heisman well for Vanderbilt.
No, he did not. And you know what? There's a lot of run-up for Heismans that have very successful careers. He'll be okay.
Vince Young was a runner-up for Heisman, then won the national title. There's been a lot of great
They posted
runner-ups.
all these run-up for Heismans, and a lot of these times it's like this guy won the Heisman who was a big shot in college, but then next to him is well, I was going to say Deshaun Watson, but that's not a good example.
Trevor Lawrence never won the Heisman. C.J. Stroud didn't win the Heisman, and Bryce Young did. So there's a lot of guys who were right there, didn't. Lamar Jackson won it, but also lost it to Baker Mayfield. So, way there. So there's been a lot of great players that have been runner-up. So, Diego Pavia, I don't think is going to be
Use his motivation.
I don't think he's going to be
Also, Mendoza had a great season. It wasn't like...
Yeah.
Last year was kind of annoying. It's also interesting. This year, back to quarterbacks, but last year, the top two guys weren't quarterbacks, which was pretty surprising because usually it's either just an absurd statistical season from a receiver or running back, or most of the time a quarterback. Last year we had two. I kind of felt bad for Genti because it's like the Ohtani thing in baseball. If a guy's playing on both sides of the ball,
hard to not vote for him.
You can't not vote for him. But Genti was insane in college, so there was nothing Genti could have done more besides play defense.
We'll say I was a Genti guy about a year ago at this time. Now, my boy Travis Hunter deserves that award, baby.
I think Genti was probably better, but when you play both sides of the ball, it's really hard to say he doesn't deserve it. So
All right, Texas Tech, Oregon. We both had Oregon moving on. This game in the Orange Bowl. So this game will be in Miami. We were talking about Miami earlier. Chris, do you like you talked glowingly about Texas Tech the last time we talked college football.
I saw them play against some random team and they destroyed them. For that reason, I will pick Texas Tech.
Can we not call BYU some random team? I like BYU.
Was it? Probably. I will say Oregon did beat Penn State, which should mean more, but...
Yeah, Texas Tech and Penn State. I don't even know if Texas Tech and Penn State have ever played. Can't think of it off the top of my head. I'm taking the Ducks. I think Oregon gets the job done. I like Texas Tech. It's been a great story. They haven't been really tested by a team outside of Utah and BYU. Now, they've handled those tests really well. Their only loss is to Arizona State when their backup quarterback was playing. But I think Oregon gets the job done. I think this is an Oregon team on a revenge tour. After last year losing in the first round, after being the 1 seed and undefeated, I think they're coming in with vengeance. They're well-rested, ready to go, and I think the Ducks get the job done over the Red Raiders. Now, Georgia-Ole Miss, this is another rematch. This was a shootout in Athens earlier this year, but again, Lane Kiffin not there, which is going to affect the offense of the Rebels as they take on Georgia. Kirby Smart squad playing great football, Chris, as they are the SEC champs after dominating Alabama. Who do you like in the Sugar Bowl?
Well, I actually have Georgia versus Tulane, Adam, if you remember.
Oh, yeah, you have Tulane. I forgot you didn't take Ole Miss to win this game.
But I will be taking Georgia.
Oh, you're not taking the green wave?
My cousin's in Georgia.
How could I persuade you?
Nope.
Do you know where the Sugar Bowl is played?
Georgia.
No.
I'm assuming Mississippi.
No. You got Tulane. But first, do you know where Tulane is?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Ole Miss. Louisiana.
Yes, it's in New Orleans. It's where the Saints play. So, and Tulane is from New Orleans. So it'd be a home game.
I know Tulane is there.
It'd be a home game for the Green Wave.
Yeah.
Not gonna matter.
All right. Yeah, I'm taking Georgia. Yeah. Okay.
I'm taking Georgia too. I'll take Georgia. The interesting thing with this game being in New Orleans, if Ole Miss gets there, is Lane Kiffin going to show up?
LSU, right?
It's right down the street. It's not a far
He should just to support his old team.
Yeah, He's still friends with Pete Golding. I don't know how the Ole Miss athletic director would take it, but yeah, would make sense for him to show up. Last one, true road game here for me. You have Miami taking on Ohio State, which is a rematch of the 2002 national championship game. Chris, you're not a college football guy, but that is a very controversial national championship game.
Very aware of that game.
Yes, it was a questionable pass interference call on the last play of overtime.
That was 2018 Rams Saints. Different game.
Yeah, but this was the first one. It happened before in 2002 that Ohio State would end up winning the national title off of a questionable call. Miami would have went back-to-back national titles, but they did not. That's your matchup in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. Who do you like?
I will take Ohio State.
All right. I got the Buckeyes taking on Texas A&M. A true home game for the Aggies in Texas, but I'll take the Buckeyes as well, and Ohio State to get the win. So our semifinals, Chris, you have Indiana and Texas Tech in the Peach Bowl. Phenomenal place in Atlanta, Florida. Who do you like in that one, Christopher?
Well, Adam, here's the tough thing. I really just feel like it's going to be another Big Ten team that wins this year. And you're going. I know you've liked Oregon. I think I'm more of an Indiana fan because I like that Mendoza threw that touchdown against Penn State. It looked really cool. So, and he just won the Heisman. I actually think the Heisman people never actually win that. I always feel like they come in second.
Yeah.
But give me Indiana.
Top of my head, the last Heisman Trophy winner to win the national title, I believe, was Devontae Smith.
That's a receiver.
Then it's Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow won it before him. So, Joe Burrow or Devontae Smith. But Mac Jones might have finished second that year, too. So...
I remember the Devontae Smith year because I used to watch Alabama growing up.
That team was so good.
Was it Jerry or was it not Jerry? It was Waddle, Devontae Smith, Mac Jones.
Yeah, Waddle got hurt.
Najee Harris, right?
Yep, Najee Harris was the running back. Yeah, Waddle got hurt. That's why Devontae started going off. So
you see, I knew that, Adam, and it was college.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. I got Indiana versus Oregon. This is a rematch. Indiana actually defeated Oregon in Eugene earlier this year. I have Oregon winning the rematch in the Peach Bowl, and I'll take Oregon to go to the national championship. Now we go to the Fiesta Bowl all the way out in Phoenix. Long trip for these two teams, Ohio State and Georgia. Rematch of a classic on New Year's Eve when C.J. Stroud took on a Georgia team that would end up... It was a great game, finished 42-41. C.J. Stroud played one of the best games I've ever seen, and Ohio State lost on a missed kick right as the clock struck midnight on the new year. For Georgia, after all that tough work to win that game 42-41, their reward was to go and beat TCU 62-7. So,
I remember that year. That's when I was like, this college thing doesn't really make sense.
Hey, the semifinal games were awesome because TCU Michigan was like 52-45. Quentin Johnston went off, and then of course the national title game was not that. But who do you like here? Big matchup between the two most experienced coaches in this field with Kirby Smart and Ryan Day.
I'm going to take Ohio State.
All right, me as well. I'm taking the Buckeyes to defeat the Dogs and reach their second straight national championship. So, Chris, you've went out on a limb. You've taken number 1 versus number 2. Indiana, Ohio State. It's a rematch of the Big Ten championship that just
Indiana
happened.
Was number 1. My bad.
Yes. Indiana's the only undefeated team in the country.
And it's going to stay that way.
All right.
Give me Indiana. I thought it was going to be a hot take by taking Indiana. Did not realize they were the 1 seed.
Yes.
I like them. I like Mendoza. I think this is like a Marcus Mariota losing type of deal where he wins the Heisman. And I just like this guy a lot, and I finally get attached to him, and then he comes in second, then I feel really bummed out.
You remember who Marcus Mariota lost to?
Jameis Winston.
Nah, he beat Jameis Winston. Who did he lose to in the national title game, Chris?
Can you tell me the team?
Ohio State. The team you have Mendoza playing. If you think this is Mariota, you have the exact same matchup in the Natty.
That proves my point so much. Oh, was it Dwayne Haskins? No, that was way later.
This was Cardell Jones.
Oh, no, we never would have gotten that.
Yeah, third straight. I wasn't asked for the quarterback. I asked him for the team because you would have had the same team if you finished
I thought
second.
Quarterback because I remember Jameis was that.
Nah. Yeah, he smacked Jameis because that was the battle of Heisman winners because Jameis won it the year before.
I was in Key West for that game. I remember watching it.
Oregon beat him like 52-20. It was like bad.
I was a really big Mariota fan.
Yeah, so I have Ohio State, Oregon. Big Ten matchup, all Big Ten. We both have all Big Ten. Definitely not biased.
I think it's going to be a Big Ten team, but because it was Michigan, Ohio State, and I thought Penn State was going to follow it up this year.
Yeah, me too. That didn't really work out. All right, I'm taking the Buckeyes to go back-to-back. I think they're the best team in the country. That's all I got to say. I think they're the best team in the country. I think they're better than they were last year. And I think they're going to get the job done. So that's where I go.
That they lost to Indiana. I think you do need to get punched in the face once in the regular season to then get that hunger back, and that happened to them last year against Michigan when they lost the regular season.
You remember that score in that Michigan game was 13-10. Their score in Indiana 13-10. Could work out for them.
However, I do think Ohio State was peaking at the start of the season.
Yeah, they had a Patriots problem. Their schedule did not help them out. Penn State did not help them out because Penn State plummeted. So by the time that game was played, it wasn't very big. So they've had a interesting schedule. Yeah, but I'll take the Buckeyes here. So that's going to wrap it up for our college football segment. So if you're watching the short here, thank you for joining us. We'll talk to you next time. But now we'll move on to the NBA Cup, Chris. It happened finally. Everybody was talking about this, Chris, in the NBA Cup. Knicks. Everybody, man. Come on now. Everyone loves the NBA Cup. It's bigger than the NBA Finals if you ask some people. But the Knicks defeated the Spurs 124-113. The Cup MVP was Jalen Brunson, but a solid game. Thought OG Anunoby might have played better, but besides the point. But Victor Wembanyama, the interesting thing, because he's come back from injury, he came off the bench in this game. Which is a crazy thing to look back on.
I watched 2 games of this NBA Cup. I watched Lakers Spurs in the first half, and then I immediately was like, all right, the Lakers are very frustrating. They are clearly the better team. They did not have Wembanyama yet on the Spurs, and the Lakers still lost them, so I just gave up on that. Then the Thunder, I was like, all right, let me see how good the Thunder are. I saw the stretch where they were destroying the Spurs without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and then Wemby went on the court, and then the game just swung. And I was like, all right, I was trying to find a way to beat the Thunder. The Spurs, I think, are one of the few teams that are like, hey, we finally have something you don't have an answer to. Because anytime Wemby touched the ball, they triple teamed him.
Yep.
And Chet, I think Chet could be a good defender on a lot of people, but Wemby is just bigger and lengthier, which is usually Chet's strength. Now that's actually a weakness of his. So I think that's the way, is you need someone that could create a mismatch that they can't solve. I think it's going to be with the big guy, and Wemby, I think, is one of those few guys that can really challenge them. If you have a forward or a guard, the Thunder just have 8 different guys that could just go and hound them up and down the court. I just don't think that could work.
Yeah, so it's going to be really hard.
I was interested in that, and then I was like, oh, cool, the Spurs made it, and then I wasn't paying attention to the East, and the Knicks stole this one, so...
Yeah, it's going to be weird to look back on this, especially if the Thunder do what they're kind of on pace to do, which is potentially break the wins record.
I think they will.
It's going to be weird to look back on when it's like, man, all-time great regular season, and they didn't win the regular season tournament. They didn't. Yeah, they didn't play in the championship game of the regular season tournament.
What value does this have to you? Because I think it's somewhere between... I think it's just above the Summer League tournament.
It's a good award, and it's, I think, good for your team to have if you need it. But I think a lot of teams don't need it.
But it hasn't helped either of the last 2 teams that have won.
No, but I meant if you have a young team that's growing up. I'm not talking about in that season. Neither of these teams fit that. The Spurs would have. A young team that's trying to grow up and be like, hey, we can win things. Winning that would be important, maybe not for this year, but future years.
The Pacers had a great run. They actually died in that playoffs. It was the next year that they actually took that leap.
No, but I'm not talking about for that season. It doesn't mean much to me. Yeah, but I'll tell you now,
meaningful basketball for young teams, I guess, because they're not going to get the playoffs.
Yeah. And it's good growth and playing different games and minutes and how to manage things, and it's good for coaches.
I don't think playing 3 or 4 meaningful games tires you out for the playoffs. So I'm not saying that, but it is weird that the 2 teams that won this NBA Cup had honestly no real playoff success. They both had first round exits.
What, both East teams?
No, I'm saying the last 2 years, the last 2 winners, Bucks and Lakers, they both had a first round exit.
Yeah, I think the Lakers went out the first round the year they won it because they went to the conference finals the year before. Yeah,
didn't really mean much.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. But what have you thought about that? Some Knicks fans have decided that they're counting this as their first title since 1973.
The Knicks are openly not counting this as a title. They won't even hang up a banner, which I respect. You don't hang up a banner for winning something if there was, like, it is kind of sucky for the NBA because they're trying to make this like a big deal, and the Knicks are openly just like no. And what's sad is the Knicks need more stuff in their banner. They don't in their rafters. They don't have a lot. They need more banners up there, and they're openly like we don't even want to acknowledge this existence. However, I think if teams do like championships with all the years, the Knicks should do when they say like in-season tournaments or whatever it is.
Well, like
NBA
you could put
NBA
NBA cups, like just put like one banner up and just put the year underneath it.
Yeah,
like I don't think you need an NBA
like,
Cup champions with like a special logo on it, like
because
do a big
you
banner
want to celebrate it and you want to support the NBA trying to do stuff. I said this before. The league like there needs to be shorter seasons.
Mm-hmm.
That's the solution. It's not more games, more meaningful games in the season. It's just make it 70 games, make it 60 games. Anything less than 60 might be too weird.
They say the guys should play 65 games, so just make the season 65 games. Like that's it's dumb. It's but like I think it's nice, and it does add there's a game to watch in December that's like they're gonna care, like the guys are gonna play. And like so you can turn it on and you know what you're getting, but at the same time I don't think anyone's looking at this like what a big win for our franchise. Like let's go get it.
It's tough when the players win this thing, then the team doesn't even want to like acknowledge or celebrate it.
Yeah, I think they have to treat this in my mind like a playoff appearance. Like you see like playoff appearances and they'll put like the year up there. I think that's what's gonna have to be like NBA Cup, like champions with the year. And hopefully a team wins more than one, so then they'd be like, oh, yeah, let's just put the banner up there.
First champions.
Yeah. So
I thought the Lakers had a chance against the Spurs, but I actually kind of like seeing the Spurs. I just like seeing the Thunder lose a game. It's kind of like stunning. It's like, oh my God, wow.
Yeah, since you're a gambling man, I hope you took the over in the Lakers Jazz game today.
I'm not a gambling man, really.
I know.
It was a month trial, made some profit, then I'm done.
It was a really low-scoring Jazz-Lakers game today, Chris. You ready? 143 to 135.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Luka had a 45-point triple-double. LeBron had 28 and 10. For the Jazz, Keontae George had 34.
I'm not the first person to say this, but the Lakers just have too many offensive guys and no defensive guys. Reeves, LeBron, Luka, I love Reeves. But when LeBron and Luka are there, Reeves becomes a boring third option that doesn't complement them. He just is another good scorer, and you can't have three holes on defense. You can't. Mm-hmm. You could definitely have one. You could maybe have two if you have three really good other defenders. You can't have most of the defenders in the court not be a good defender. It's impossible.
I thought about this for a while. The perfect guy to fit on that team, and I bet he wants out of his current spot anyway, is Jaren Jackson. It's Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
Triple J. Because he can shoot threes. He's a great defender.
He can't rebound, but he can play defense. And I think if they kept Ayton.
Yeah, you put Triple J at the 4. Because he could shoot, so it's not going to be a clogged lane.
Contracts are always weird, but yeah.
Well, that's the problem.
I also think the Lakers don't want to try to do anything to win now because the Thunder are going to win now in their eyes. They're not going to be better with the Thunder with that move. Yeah, and LeBron's going to leave at the end of the year, so you're going to have all this cap space that's freed up. You can actually make trades and stuff.
Plus, the ownership group doesn't want LeBron to win another one. Sneaky.
We'll see.
Yeah. All right, so NBA Cup. We'll get more NBA in here, especially once football season dies down. But
the NBA just has to get to the games that matter. I love the moment the play-in games start. I'm like, oh, this is maybe my favorite sport.
Yeah, and then you died off quick. Oh, you meant the play-in games. I thought you meant because you were talking big about the NBA a month ago. You're like, man, I love that.
The start of the season I'm always in, and then it gets to the point where it's and
then you're out.
And here's what happens: I'll see a game, I'll make a plan to watch it, and either the game is boring or the players aren't playing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, this is so much less fun than opening night when everyone's playing.
Yeah. Yep.
It just once Wemby went down, the Spurs went from a team I felt like I had to watch to a team I don't want to watch.
Yeah, it just dies off so quick.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, let's get into it. Upset pick time. We both struggled last week, Chris. We both lost.
I got
you were close. You were only lost by a point.
And I just kept getting robbed, and weird stuff kept happening.
I I flew too close to the sun, taking Tua in cold weather. It didn't work out.
Adam, that was the worst pick I think I've seen all season.
That is not true. I guarantee I've had a worse pick. Let me see. I was riding a hot streak anyway, but
I'll start with mine. You're gonna call me a baby, but I'm doing it anyways. Raiders at Texans. I could I could see in my head just a Raiders close game or just a surprising, stunning win that gets us to freak out about the Texans again. It's minus 14.5 right now. They're at least covering that.
Wow, you're taking the 1 point cover. Chris, you
also,
are down.
Against the Broncos, their most recent game, the game is over. The game was 100% done, and as time expired, the Raiders kicked a field goal to cover the spread. So they see the spread, and they want to cover.
That wasn't their most recent game. Their most recent game was a 31
the most recent game against the Broncos, not the first one.
Yeah, but they're playing the Texans, not the Broncos.
No, I know. But I'm saying in their most recent game against the Broncos, because they played two.
Yeah, but they also lost last week 31-0.
Yeah.
They also.
Yep, that's a good point, Adam. But you know what? Best time to pick a team is off their worst loss and another team coming off their best win. Just send, flip.
All right. See, I thought about taking a big number here. I thought about it.
It's a lot of close numbers this week, Adam.
Yeah, but since you took a big number, I don't feel obligated to take a big number. So I'm going to take a small number, but it could be a big upset. Titans over Chiefs, outright. 3-point dogs for the Titans. They opened as 10.5-point dogs. Mahomes, I guess, is worth a touchdown. Who would have thought? Yeah, but I'm taking the Titans over the Chiefs here. I think the Chiefs want to lose this game. I don't know. The Chiefs have not been in this situation in over a decade. So I don't know how they're going to handle it, not being in playoff contention, playing literally a meaningless football game. I don't know how they're going to take it. So, yeah, I'm riding with the Titans to knock off Kansas City in Nashville because I think the Chiefs' hearts just aren't going to be in it.
Yeah.
I loved it at 10.5, and I guess I have to like it at 3.5.
This is, too, just they have nothing to play for. I think on Christmas against the Broncos, at least it's a division opponent that you tend to hate. And it's Christmas, so guys care. There's nothing this week.
Nope. No juice. There'll be no juice in that stadium. For either team, really. Because, the Titans, you got to think all the Titans fans that were going to go to that game were like, man, I can't wait to go watch Patrick Mahomes play a football game. And now he's not playing. It's like, well, now, but Gardner Minshew? Are we serious? He was a Colts quarterback a couple years. I've seen this guy play. He was a Jags quarterback. He's been in our division. I don't need to see this guy play. So, yeah, so the juice is gone from Nashville. I'll tell you that. But, all right, let's get to our game picks here, Chris. Start on Saturday. I think it's a little rude of the NFL to play during the college football playoff. But they're playing at the same time of Ole Miss, Tulane, and James Madison, Oregon. So I'm not going to hurt them too much.
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, but initially they did. Eagles, Commanders, Chris. Eagles win, they eliminate the Cowboys.
Eagles.
All right, Chris taking the Eagles. I'll take the Eagles as well. Packers, Bears. Here's a big one. Saturday night. Chris, who do you like here?
Packers.
All right, I'm taking the Bears. I think the Bears knock them off. A big
no
split guy.
No Burden, no Roma Dunze. Just DJ Moore. It's going to be cold. I know it's in Chicago, but it's going to be so cold. I don't know. I think the Bears' running game looks really good with Ben Johnson. He has Monangai and Swift having a nice split. I'm assuming Josh Jacobs, he looked good last week. Give me the Packers, I guess, but I don't feel good about it.
Rolling with the Bears. I'll roll with them. Also, reason I'm rolling with the Bears, I really actually should be rolling with the Packers for this reason. Their run defense is probably going to be phenomenal. Micah can't stop the run, so now they got a guy.
Micah's really detrimental to run
he's so bad at the run. He stripped R.J. Harvey on the first drive of the game last week.
Yeah,
so detrimental against the run, man. I don't know how you have that guy on your team. All right, Chris, does Tyler Shuck do it again? It'll be a little less surprised. They're playing the Jets.
Yep, he's doing it again.
Yep, so am I. I'm taking the Saints as well. I watched that Jets team against the Jags.
Do you think the Saints defense is actually be good against the Jets for fantasy purposes? This is just a personal question.
I would think so.
I just don't.
Who's playing quarterback? Is it going to be Brady Cook?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, they'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Plus, Jets want to lose games.
Yeah. So do the Saints. Actually, no, the Saints don't. All right.
Yeah, doesn't seem like they want to. Bills, Browns, let down spot. Oh, I thought I was going to be able to talk you into taking the Browns.
Bills. As long as the Bills have something to play for, I'm taking them to win every game.
I want to take the Browns so bad. I do. but I'm going to take the Bills. Chiefs, Titans. Chris, I'm taking the Titans. I've made my point clear. I think the Titans pull off the upset. Do you think they do too, or are you taking the Chiefs?
Chiefs.
Oh, all right. Bengals, Dolphins. Quinn Ewers making his first career start as they bench Tua Tagovailoa. The Bengals, they say they're playing Joe Burrow, even though they are out at 4-10.
Right now, Adam, I see 3 of you. Unlike LeBron in the play-in against the Warriors that year.
Shoot at the one in the middle.
The 2 hour of sleep was not working well today. I'm going with the Bengals.
All right, I'm taking the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins get the job done. Don't think the Bengals. Plus, if you're the Bengals, do you want to win this game? How about you get some offensive linemen? Or defensive help?
It's a kid's first start in the NFL. I'm not taking that.
Hey, that's when they shine. Shedeur won his first start.
They usually do well in the middle of the season, better than week 1. Week 1, they usually are terrible.
Yes, but Jackson Dart, Shedeur.
Yeah, he burned me in that Chargers pick.
Yeah, Shedeur. Hey, speaking of the Chargers, great segue, Chris. Chargers, Cowboys in AT&T. In our world, the Cowboys have been eliminated from playoff contention by this time. So, do they get the win over the Chargers, or do the Cowboys get the job done?
I don't ever want to pick Justin Herbert again. Anytime I can pick against him, I will. Give me the Cowboys.
Man, I was going to take the Cowboys, but for sakes, I'll take the Chargers, I guess. I do like Jim Harbaugh. As an NFL coach.
I like Omarion Hampton. I am not a fan of Herbert.
Yeah, I know you're not a Herbert guy. I like Lad McConkey. I really like Lad McConkey. Yeah, love my boy. All right, Vikings, Giants. Good luck getting a read on this one, Chris.
Giants.
You're taking the Giants. I'm taking the Vikings. Bounce back. JJ's playing his best football. That's back-to-back good weeks from JJ McCarthy. He's going to keep it rolling.
Getting struck by lightning twice.
They get the win because, of course, the Vikings, after being eliminated from playoff contention, might win out to get to 9-8, so their draft pick's just horrible.
Good.
Bucks, Panthers. This is a big one, Chris. This is a big one for the Panthers. Bucks can afford to lose and bounce back into it, but who do you like here?
I think Bucks are going to win. I think Mike Evans has a big day.
Yep, I think the Bucks are going to win as well. I think the Panthers are running out of juice, and again, I think it's similar to the Patriots. They haven't been in this situation before. Jags, Broncos. Shame the NFL's putting one of the best matchups of the weekend at 4:05 in regional coverage, but that's what they've decided to do. So, who do you like here, Chris? Jags, Broncos?
Broncos.
All right, I'm taking the Jags. I'll ride with my boys out there.
RJ Harvey's healthy. I think they're just going to do dump-offs, and I think the Jags are going to... This is just my theory, and this is what happens in baseball, so we'll see if it translates to the NFL. The Jaguars have played some of the worst defenses lately, and they're going to have to go against the Broncos defense. And not that they can't do it, but when you're just used to, like, in this rhythm, and then all of a sudden you're just going against someone way harder, like... it's going to, be a little bit of a rude awakening in the beginning of the game, I think. Maybe they could, keep the momentum, and then, some point in the game, they're going to be like, oh my god, this isn't the Jets.
We'll see. I'll ride with them. I'm not going to pick against them.
It's like when you shoot a women's basketball, and then you go back to the men's basketball, which you used to be good at shooting, but then you got used to the smaller women's ball, and then went back to the men's ball, but now it just feels all weird.
Why were you ever shooting with a women's ball?
What are you talking about? I am basketball, Kovrek League.
Oh my goodness!
I complain about that basketball every week. I could not shoot it. It's true. So awkward.
That's very true. Falcons, Cardinals. Again, good luck getting a read on this one, Chris.
Cardinals.
Okay, Cardinals. I'll take the Falcons. Long week. I'm just taking it off rest. They played last Thursday, so long rest for them.
Cal Pitts might have 6 touchdowns.
Bijan could go off too. This is gonna be a shootout, most likely.
Bijan's every other game. He's just like Gibbs.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of points in this game, I think.
Yeah.
Neither defense is known for being stout. So, no. Raiders, Texans. Chris, you said the Raiders could hang in. Do they get the upset?
Give me the Texans.
Oh, I'm taking the Texans too. How's this game on at 4:25? But I'm not going to get it. Also, Jags Broncos is on Fox. Chris, I've complained about this a bunch. Why is AFC games on Fox? It still bothers me.
I'm not, hip with the broadcasting the AFC and NFC as much. So. I just watch Red Zone anyways between 1 and 7. I'm very
loyal to AFC being on CBS and NFC being on Fox. And when it's crossover matchups, you can mix it up. But we have an all AFC matchup, but they're going to be on Fox. That's just wrong. Anyway, Steelers-Lions in Detroit, Chris. You love the Steelers. You want to pick Aaron Rodgers, right?
I've never once wanted to pick the Steelers, but I do sometimes when I have to. But I'm picking the Lions.
Yeah, I'm picking the Lions too. Patriots-Ravens. Big game in Baltimore for both teams as the Patriots trying to hold off the Bills.
I cannot pick the Ravens, seeing what I've seen from Lamar. I think he's looked slightly better, but give me the Patriots.
Taking the Patriots as well. Think they bounce back. And we ended on Monday night. Niners-Colts. Big game for the Niners. It's opened up for the 1 seed in the NFC after the win with the Seahawks today. Do they hold off Phillip Rivers making his second start?
Niners.
Me too. I'll take the Niners as well. So there's our game picks for the week, Chris.
Put me to sleep, Adam. My gosh, what is this show?
Oh my, this is actually one of the shorter episodes compared
one
to
of my favorite episodes, honestly. Just like I said, Adam.
We've had some fun.
Woke up at 3:30 a.m. Been up
Do you work, I guess, today?
No.
All right, that's good. Get your rest, buddy.
Phone is going to be Do Not Disturb.
Yep, get your rest, buddy. Get your rest. You deserve it. You've earned it. You've been a great boyfriend this week for Sada. It was
a long week. Adam birthday was on Tuesday.
Yes, it was. Happy birthday. You weren't here for me to wish you a happy birthday officially on the show. So
we could have done actually no, it's Sunday night, but no, we didn't get to record a normal thing on Sunday, so I missed you. And then
I know.
I hate when I'm talking to no one and I'm like, wow, and then it's like only 10 minutes went by, but it feels like 30.
Yeah. You have to have a strict topic to sit on with a lot to say on it, and it's a little better. That's how I got through the coaching ones. I had a bunch to say on it, so it kind of just took me through. But, yeah, it's kind of tough. But get your rest. You've been a great guy this weekend. You've been a great sport. We'll be back with you on Monday morning when we recap this fun week we're sure to have. We'll have college football playoff reaction. We'll have NFL reaction, of course, some of the big games going on this week, so be on the lookout for that. Make sure to check out all the shorts on the socials. Make sure to check out everything here. Also, if you've watched this full episode, you've seen all the cut-ups, but if you want to go back and listen to it, we'll have official segments cut out for you guys to watch on the YouTube page as well. So thank you for listening. For my partner, Chris Reynolds, I am Adam Sheets, and we will see you next time.